This is another inner child entry, and I have completed one, but I decided today that I would actually complete two more poetry readings, and then I would finish this book. So this book was actually made for me back in the early 2021, and I was using it to do my Reiki, and it also houses a journal that I did from Jessica Smara, which is free to download, the daily gig. And then for the last 2 pages, right before I complete this, and I put it with my keepsakes, I wanted to do one more poem. And so I did one from 2009, and it was just a daily entry called Epiphany of an Owl. And then I had this one, which is the last blog entry from 2009. And I thought about putting it on the page by doing another shadow poem. But when I reread the blog, I realized it was about my ex-husband. And in 2009, I was actually with my high school boyfriend of the time. But that doesn't really talk about him. It actually talks about the betrayal I feel. And how I flat out say that my ex-husband, because at the time in high school he was my best friend, and I didn't realize that I was also undiagnosed and untreated bipolar. So my mania was very, very high at the time, and I was just starting to become an alcoholic around 2009, 2010. I started tampering with secretly drinking. So that's who Jade of 2009 was. And so like the year before I graduated from being because I graduated high school in 2010. And in this, I was pissed off. I was very angry. June 21st, 2009, Jade was angry. She was betrayed by her ex-husband, Coy. I'll just use his name, Coy. And should I use a different name when talking about? I already said the name. Whatever. Anyway, so my ex... it's all on the YouTube anyways. What are you doing? Anyway, so yeah, I was really upset about it. And in the first part, I talk about how he was everything to me, which dawned on me now looking back is like, oh, this is your FP, your favorite person in bipolar world. It's like the person that you kind of like idolize or put on a pedestal, and that can be very toxic, and it's not something that I practice now. I try my best to like not have any favorite people around and just constantly be trying to like make sure I'm watering the grass of the community around me, and that's essential for my well-being as somebody with bipolar and emotional regulation. Sorry, side tangent, back to the main thing. So yeah, I was bitching about it, said how he was everything, and then how he betrayed me, lied to me, and was just extremely cold. And I loved reading this and I feel like what this does is helped me to start the process of de-romanticizing, or start putting more facts instead of like the shame story that I've told myself for years around that. And but that's what I feel like it did. It kind of just made me feel just a little bit in my soul, a little bit lighter, that was like, oh yeah, you were just a kid, I was just a kid, and like shit happens, and I don't have to keep holding on to this story. And even though I'm not quite ready to like create a new perspective story where like I am, you know how you have those stories where they're able to like tell you their origin and how that evolved them into being this amazing piece. And I've got a bunch of stories like that, like my career, moving from state to state, constantly being on the go, going from homeless to prosperity, and then losing all of that because of an untrusted team member, to sitting there and trying to figure out how to jump back up after all this time again. All those stories, but this particular one is a little more softer, it's a little more in my core. And so I don't quite have that rewritten story where I can be like, yeah, this is how I fucking overcame, and that's what this is all about, is like giving myself those factuals, letting me see into myself so I can get a clearer picture and just be like, oh yeah, that's what it is, and I can choose what to do with it. And for this one, I'm burning it, I'm letting go. I'm not going to record me burning it because it's super unsafe, but it is raining outside, so it's going to be super easy, just going to, and then be done with it. So that's that, and that's another update for my awesome inner child healing list. And when I finish that, I decided I'm gonna do a coloring meditation on this side, and then I'm gonna write a love letter to myself on this side, and I'll do a little clip showing that, and that will officially complete this book, which was handcrafted to me by the Joy Weaver. And if you all want to check out her stuff, I have a playlist dedicated just to her meditations, which are absolutely amazing. And go to her red tents. She's very big on connection, and that's why I wanted to like really save this book. And I put in the spiral, I put things that, you know, like really spoke to me, like the Reiki lessons and the specific journal that I did where we took our feelings and then we started to separate them. It was like a week of separating feelings from facts. That's in here. And then ending it with the inner child. So this little thing has been here with me for 3 years, and though it's not a normal journal, it's still one that I am very happy about. And my inner child healing blog stuff, I'm not sure how I'm going to or where I'm going to be putting the art in the future, but I'll get there when I get there. For now, I've got the book, I've got the color, I've got my Big Bang Theory playing on the TV while I doodle it out. But I just wanted to give another update for this, and yeah, and share in the fact that I can let something else go and I can slowly start seeing the story for how I'm telling it, and then taking the needed steps to reframing how I want to really look at that and align it with my values and give myself more compassion. I hope you all have a super awesome groovy day, and that's it for me.